Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Tribal Trades. We're going to be doing altcoin analysis part 2. So many of you put altcoin suggestions in the comments over the last few weeks, and I've been collating those. I already did altcoin analysis part 1 where I covered about 9 coins. I'm going to do some more coins right now. It's late on Thursday. That's why everything's so bright. The lights are on. It is pitch black. And I wanted to get a video out, and this video will go out on Friday. So first, we're going to look at Litecoin. Now, Litecoin, we'll talk about tokenomics first, has 90% of supply. It had about 5.5 billion in market cap. It is down around 80% from its from previous all-time high, 82% now actually, which was 1,145 days ago. So it is essentially a bit of a bear market, to be honest. If we were thinking about Litecoin doing a 10x from here, it would have to flip Solana, and it would have to flip Solana, and I'm not sure it's going to flip Solana. So obviously Solana is going to grow in value. I think a 3 to 5x is certainly a more realistic target from here. Targets to the upside for Litecoin are going to be around 162, 200, around 235 to 240, and I would say around about 310 to 315. Okay, I'm not really seeing it. I think this is unlikely. I think it's unlikely that it gets its all-time high from the last cycle. Just because, I think that would be actually this is all-time high from the last cycle, and it had actually a bigger pump in the first part when Bitcoin pumped up to 64, 65, and then came down and had a smaller pump there. And I mean, we could look at Litecoin against Bitcoin. I can already tell you this is going to be a pretty ugly chart. So should we pump? And I'm going to give it the pump or the dump. This is against Bitcoin. So, I mean, why would you be in Litecoin? If you had been in Bitcoin since 2019, you would have made better returns than if you'd been in Litecoin. So let's talk about, is this a pump or is this a dump? Well, for me, this is, and of course, what they do, the live and the die. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You've seen the movie Gladiator, and I'm going to give this one. This has to be a dump for me. If I had Litecoin, I'd be out of it as soon as possible, and I would not be buying Litecoin. It's been in a bear market against Bitcoin for 5 years. In fact, people get into altcoins, and they don't really sit back and think, would have I been better off just buying Bitcoin? Because they think, I can't make as much money in Bitcoin. Yet Bitcoin has outperformed Litecoin since 2019. So that's Litecoin. The next one we're going to look at is Crypto.com token. And again, this is not pretty reading for this token. I'm just checking the tokenomics here. So 89% is in supply. So that's fairly decent. The market cap is 2.5 billion. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. It is, however, a whopping 90% down from its all-time high. That's extremely bearish for me, extremely bearish. So if we look at Crow token against the Bitcoin pairing, that's really what we need to do. It's the Bitcoin standard. We should just call it the Bitcoin standard. Let's just look at, where do we think we'll have a good chart here? So, I mean, when was this? Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of a pump against Bitcoin. I have to give it that. If we look on the weekly, though, we're creating lower highs and lower lows. I mean, in reality, if you were to buy some Crypto.com token, now would probably be the time to buy it. I mean, we've got a triple bottom over here, and this goes back to 2019. But you would have been better off in Bitcoin from November 2021 had you just been in Bitcoin. This has lost value against the Bitcoin token. Okay, so that's definitely a little bit of a rough one there. And if we go to crypto.com, just against USDT, I think we'll find the same thing, that it's been in a pretty severe downtrend against the US dollar. You'd be better off being in the US dollar. So this is not a pretty chart, unfortunately, apart from a small pump that we had. It's certainly we are creating a higher high and a higher low. So that's encouraging. I would say with crypto.com, I've got upside targets to 26 cents, to 40 cents, and also around 54 cents. And I think probably we don't get above the 54 cents. I think that's the probable top. And that's about a 5x from here. And I think that's certainly doable. With a market cap of 2.5 billion, we could see it getting to about 12 billion. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so what did we do on that one? Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be a dump. Certainly, if you have part of the rewards program with crypto.com and you use the Visa card, yeah, it can be worthwhile holding on to that and getting the rewards and getting some free crypto.com tokens through using your Visa card, certainly. And you do have to hold a bunch of crypto.com tokens. You just have to outweigh whether or not the cost of the continual depreciation is going to be worth it. I think the only silver lining with the crypto.com token is against Bitcoin. As you can see, if there were ever a time, and you might just be, and this is a strategy that I've used, I don't want to keep the token, but I also don't want to sell at a big loss. I think that I think it's near or at a bottom here, and we should start to see some appreciation come up. And you can buy lower to bring your average buy cost down so that you can exit a whole lot sooner. So that's certainly one way. You can either just get out of the token right away and rotate the losses into stronger tokens like and Casper, Ton, Ondo, Solana, much stronger tokens. Bitcoin, come on, people, Bitcoin. I mean, we can probably even look against this, against Ethereum. No, it doesn't have an Ethereum pair, so that's okay. So yeah, so that's my view of it. It's going to be a dump for me for the crypto.com token. The next one I will look at is that we had from a viewer request is the stacks. And I want to look at it against Bitcoin again. I think you got to say, is it better to be in Bitcoin or better in stacks? So let's have a look. And it looks to me like it's been probably better to have been in stacks. We've got continual lower, higher lows and higher highs here. And if this holds, if we obviously lose this here, then that's, we've got, and again, this would have been a good entry here. Down here. But yeah, again, since the bull market started around January of 2023, it would have been better to have been in stacks. Okay, and so let's look at stacks against US dollar, USDT, and we can see definitely it's better to have been in stacks than the US dollar. It also has been one of the coins that has broken its previous all-time high. It did that in April of 2024. You can see that very clearly here. That was its previous all-time high, and I'm not sure if that was its previous time because I don't know if that has all the chart history, but I do know this is a new all-time high that it's set. And a 5x, I think, is plausible. Let's just have a quick look at the tokenomics of stacks. I'm just going to look that up on my phone here. I just want to save time. It's just a lot quicker. I can get through more coins this way. So if we look at stacks, it has a $2.5 billion market cap. The 81% is circulating, which I think is quite good. It only has a supply of 1.8 billion. That's not too bad. And of course, it made its all-time high on April 1st of 2024, about 87 days ago. So it's down about 50%. And this is not a bad little area of support right here. And so I think that with stacks, my targets to the upside are, let's drum roll, $6.25, and this is all based off Fibonacci's. $6.25, $10, and $13. So $13 would be close to a bit of a 10x there. And so those are my targets to the upside. As far as like on this coin, like where would we buy in on possible pullback zones? Let's just quickly here, because this is a buy. So we'll look to throw our Fibonacci's in here. And this is going to be here. So I think probably looking at $1.57 was obviously an ideal entry, $1.72. So if we came back and retested around this $1.57, $1.55, certainly you could get an aggressive entry here. We are coming into an area of resistance, so maybe a retest of this. But again, if you've been following my Life-Changing Gains series, HODL, trade, accumulate, you'll know that I like to dollar cost average and I like to get multiple entries. Certainly, I feel that we're near a bottom or close to a bottom, so we may only see appreciation from here. And you'd hope so with this chart that it would just continue to go up. But certainly, there are some price targets there to the top. There's your $6, there's your $10, and there's your $13. So I get those targets off the Fibonacci's, which are based off realistic targets that we've seen altcoins hit in previous cycles there. So there are some buy targets. I'm not sure if we're going to see this all the way down here. So for me, if I really want to get into a coin, sometimes I do 25% an aggressive entry, which is kind of where price is now, another 25% at around $1.57, $1.60. And then I'm not sure if we do get any further to the downside. So Stacks is a buy. I'm not buying it right now, but I'm saying that this is bullish. It is doing strong and doing well against Bitcoin and against the US dollar. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is, we're going to do two more. I think we have time for two more, is the graph against Bitcoin. Oh boy. So again, we've got to ask ourselves, since 2021, February, it would have been better to be in Bitcoin. So why are we buying the graph? Why? You would have made more money if you had been in Bitcoin. This is a terrible chart. But much like the Crow, the Crypto.com Crow token, if you were going to get an entry, this probably would be not a bad little entry to average your price down. Let's look at it just against the US dollar here. And it's still looking pretty ugly. You would have been better off being in the US dollar too, apart from a little pump that we had here, but it was quickly sold off. So look, I'm not seeing much, unfortunately, for the graph. The chart looks pretty nasty. We could do a little bit of Fibonacci, and let's see what kind of price targets we have here. I'm not going to get these exact. Oops. But, I mean, at this point, some upside targets, maybe 76 cents. And I think that could be a bull market top. And then if it does break through, maybe $1.21 at best. And I really don't see it getting past, I think, here and here. So I think if you were at 21, I think you've got taking profit here, here, or here, trying to get out of this. Certainly, as we saw on the Bitcoin trade, it may not be a bad time. And look, again, what is this token going to be for me? Is it a pump or is it a dump? It's going to be a dump. I've held the graph before. I got out of the graph somewhere up here, somewhere over $2. I got out of the graph and it's come down pretty heavily. Your strategy here is to dump it, get into another better performing coin, or you could accumulate a little bit more in the hope that you average down your price enough. Of course, I know the graph is trying to align itself to an AI play, and certainly that could change. And, you know, there is a little bit of life in this chart, We do have a higher low and a higher low here, but unfortunately we have a lower high and another, looks like another lower high forming there. If we were to lose this here, then that could get a little bit ugly. So just keep that in mind with the graph. It's certainly a tough chart, unfortunately. Some of these altcoins have taken a huge beating and may not really recover. In my mind, there are just too many altcoins and not enough liquidity. Okay, and then the last one we're going to look at is Uniswap, because this will take us through to 20 minutes. And so we're going to look at Uniswap against Bitcoin. And what have we got? Oh boy, we've got another one. So again, since 2021, it would better have been a Bitcoin, except for the scammy kind of wick. I'm gonna try a better Bitcoin chart. I think we might be able to find one that's a little bit better, that doesn't have that scam wick. There we go. It's not looking good, guys. I mean, look, we are down against Bitcoin. Again, the only saving grace is that we probably have found a little bit of a bottom, and so it could be a good opportunity to start scaling out of Uniswap on the way up. Okay, it's just a tough chart. Let's look at next slide. Let's try and do some coins that are actually like SDT. Yeah, let's try and do some coins that are actually going to look good. So against the US dollar, it's not being too bad. So there's a little bit of life in this chart against the US dollar. We see there are some higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, but now we've got a lower high. Let's try and get a Fibonacci and just see where there might be some exits, because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen here. Oops, I've done that the wrong way. You know what's going to happen here. This is not looking good. Not looking good, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm going to say, first of all, if you can get out at 17, that would be great. I think there's going to be some more downside at around 20. So 17, 20, definitely at 25. And where could we go in this bull market? Look, my feeling is it's going to be, gosh, I don't know. Is Uniswap, let's have a look at Uniswap. Here it is here. And we've got a market cap of, so 75% in circulation. That's not too bad. Obviously, you want 100% of the coins in circulation. You've got a market cap of 7 billion. So to do a 10x, it would have to flip Solana. So I don't see Uniswap doing a 10x. Its all-time high was on May the 2nd, 2021. So it didn't even create another new all-time high when Bitcoin went up to 69K, like many of the altcoins did. It was it's down 78, 79%. So it's not one of the uglier charts that we've seen here, but certainly to do a 5x market cap would have to go to about 35 million. So a 5x from here is about $45. And what was the all-time high on this again? The all-time high was about $45. So look, I think, so this is not a complete chart here, actually. This doesn't show all the history of Uniswap. But yeah, this doesn't show the May time, but that's okay. If we look at here, we now know the all-time high was about $45. I think here would be a good target. I think if getting out here, 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 or here, if you're lucky at 39, could it get to 52 and create a new all-time high? I think that's possible. That's a 5x market cap, 35 billion market cap. That's what that would be. Is that right? Yeah, about 35 billion market cap. So yeah, that seems realistic to me in this bull market. So I think this is probably your best case scenario. The most likely scenario, it gets stuck at about $40, and then you may not even get much out of it. But I think we at least get back to the $40 mark. I wonder if there is a better chart that we can look at here that has more. There's got more price history. So I think we're going to get stuck also at around 30 here you're going to have a lot of people offloading their bags here. So I'm just not sure we get past the $30. The $40 is up here, and you can see there's a lot more people to offload their bags. So I think selling somewhere here or here, and honestly, dumping, if it gets back to here, dumping it here is not a bad idea. I'm so sorry if you've got Uniswap, but as you can see, the price against Bitcoin is really, really, really rough. Yeah, we covered some coins there. Most of it was a little bit sad, to be honest. But here's what I'm finding, that many of the altcoin analysis requests are the older cycle coins, and really the best time to have cycled out of those was a while ago. A lot of them now are reaching the bottom against Bitcoin. And it's not, I was talking to somebody in the Discord and they said, well, it's kind of near the bottom at Bitcoin. I think I'll just keep holding it and then I can exit as it goes up. And that's a plan. You either exit, you keep it, stay in the coin, and then you exit on the way up, or you roll it into a better performing token, or you roll it into Bitcoin. There is an altcoin season that is going to come. I think sooner rather than later. I think we're fairly close to it. So being patient for that can be great, but you just don't know if your altcoin is going to be one that's going to pump, because we had a little bit of altcoin season already, and many of these altcoins did not participate. So again, please leave your comments below about which altcoins you want me to cover. But anyway, I just wanted to say to you all, wherever you are, it's pretty late where I am. This video will be going live tomorrow. Some of these prices and charts may have changed a little bit, so I just wanted to give you a heads up. I don't expect much movement on some of those coins because they've been pretty dead, but I wanted to get a video out, and I wanted to get back to all those viewer requests for the altcoin analysis coins. So until the next video, happy trading.